Taylor has brought back the big-bodied 12-string with these two limited edition guitars. Today we're going to be looking at the 858E and K68E. Stick around, we're going to tell you all about them. Hey, you're watching Alamo Music TV. My name is Chris McKee.
And I'm Cooper Greenberg.
We're here with Alamo Music Center in San Antonio, Texas. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe, turn on notifications, like our videos, comment, all that good stuff to engage with us because we like to hear from you. If you want to support the channel, visit our spring store link below for custom swag. You can also check out our podcast, the Fretboard Confessional, wherever you get your podcasts. We just recorded a new episode with more coming, so stay tuned for that. So I'm excited to see these guitars. I'm a big fan of big-bodied 12 strings. I own a jumbo 12 string that Taylor used to make, and they've kind of come in and out of the lineup, both with changes to the body and then changes to the bracing. And so these are cool. They're limiteds. I hope they don't remain limiteds. But for now, that's the story. Morning Glory. So, PSA, right? If you are interested in either of these guitars and you watch this 6 months from now, they may be gone.
See you in the custom shop.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I do think, I mean, unless we get lucky and we get some more, I think we're only going to get 3 of each of these.
Yeah.
So 2 more after these. These might already have a home, as I'm told. So get over here.
Get in line. Not to be like offensive or pushy, but no, they're very cool guitars. And again, I hope these. Sometimes I look at limiteds like this, and I think Taylor's testing the waters to see how they perform, and maybe they add it to the lineup. I kind of think these are no-brainers. They both existed in the lineup at one time before they were V-Class. So let's talk a little bit about history. It's 2023. It's 10 years since they discontinued their jumbo body. So if you aren't aware, Taylor had, from the start, they had 3 body shapes. They had their dreadnought, square shoulder dreadnought, they had their grand concert, and they had a jumbo. And those are body shapes that they had effectively inherited from other guitar companies like Martin and Gibson and Guild and so forth. And then in the mid-90s, they introduced the Grand Auditorium body shape. And that led to some changes in those where they kind of redid the lines of those guitars. And then in 2013, Andy Powers brought out the Grand Orchestra with redesigned bracing and slightly differences to the bodies to make this guitar a jumbo that was more responsive than a typical jumbo.
Yeah.
So they got rid of their traditional jumbo body when they did that. And initially these came out as 6 strings, and then there were 12-string variants that were available. So there was previously an 858E that was in the lineup. And then another change, because that's what happens with Taylor, right? Changes. Another change came through with bracing. And so I think it was about 2016 or so that the V-Class version of the Grand Orchestra came out. And there were no 12 strings with the V-Class for a while until they finally started addressing those. But when they did, it was on the small end. It was Grand Concert, 12-fret, 12-string guitars, which are very cool.
Yeah.
But lack like the body resonance of a jumbo. So now here we are, 10 years after the initial changeover in the body, and we've got these limited edition 12-string big body guitars.
Pretty sweet. And I think, like you said, I think Taylor tests the waters, and since these are appointed within their series, the exact same, there's no wood change, there's not really any aesthetic
weird
change.
Inlay or anything like that.
That's an 800 series, this is a K series to a T, so I could see it happening, and I think it would be cool just to have the option, especially, I mean, I'd like to see what would that be, a 658?
Yeah.
That would be cool. But yeah, no, I enjoy these a lot, and it's surprising since they're same exact body shape, both 12 strings. It's a good comparison of what tone woods do. Like, when I was demoing these, it's rare that you get like the exact same kind of build with just different woods right next to each other in a video, and I did notice quite a difference in the sound, and they're both really cool.
Yeah, it's a great point. Well, let's talk about what for those who aren't familiar with the body shape first. The Grand Orchestra is a big jumbo-sized guitar. It doesn't have as tight of a waist as a traditional jumbo body does, and it has a deep body. It's 5 inches in depth on these. I find this one a little bit more comfortable for me. Neither of us are dunking on anybody, right?
Yeah.
So having the radius armrest on this makes it a bit more comfortable because it's so deep, but that depth gives you a lot of resonance. So if you've played a 6-string version of these, you find a jumbo guitar that is kind of oddly respondent to a light touch. Usually you kind of have to chop wood to get a jumbo to really respond. And a lot of like rich bassy depth in these guitars. Of course, this is an 800 series, like you said, so this is Sitka spruce with East Indian rosewood back and sides. It's pale maple binding. It's got all the typical appointments of an 800 series, as Cooper was saying, with your rosewood pick guard, which it's almost become like normal now, but that's such a cool feature.
Yeah.
Beautiful abalone and rosewood rosette, ebony bridge, ebony fingerboard, the 800 series Ascension inlay, all the way up to the ebony headstock. And since this is a 12-string, but it's a V-class, it's gotten the treatment that V-class 12 strings have been utilizing, which I think is really smart. There's 6 bridge pins for 12 strings. It's a double anchor system that they've done, which is different from how 12 strings have typically been done over the years. And after the fact, they did it really to accommodate the V bracing, because it comes so close to the bridge. If they did it in the traditional way, you wouldn't be able to fit all the bridge pins in there without moving the bracing. So that's why it was done. But it's one of those things I find sometimes, something necessitates a change that ends up being an improvement.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of like, why doesn't everyone just do that?
It just looks so much cleaner too.
And it's easy when you're restraining these.
Yeah. And I will also say, in terms of ease, I never have a good time tuning up 12 strings.
Yeah.
Trying to separate, but both of the tuning machines on here, obviously these are the Gotoh 510s, which look great and I love them, but even the just normal Taylor tuners, it's so much easier to tune up these guitars. Really smooth on the tune-up.
Love what do they call this again? Is it smoked nickel?
Yeah, I think so.
So really nice. I mean, I like the 510s, but I really like the coloring on there. So that's the 858E. You've got the K68E. So walk us through the specs on this.
So K68, not 58, because this is not a softwood or...
Should we refresh the...
Yeah, let's refresh that one.
Okay, so the way model numbering works at Taylor is the first letter or number is the series. So the first number in this 8, the letter in that K. So it's a koa series, it's an 800 series, right? The next number denotes the top wood and the number of strings on the guitar. So if it's a 6-string guitar, it's going to be a 1 or 2, depending on whether it's a softwood or hardwood. So softwood is 1, and that could be spruce. It could be a different species of spruce, redwood, cedar, or it could be 2, which would be a hardwood, which would be mahogany or koa or maple or something like that. And then your last note, or last number rather, is going to be the body shape. So an 8 is a grand orchestra. So that's why you have an 8, 18 in this case. Since that's got the hardwood top, it gets the 6 instead of the 5.
Yeah.
I said 818, 858.
Yeah.
So it gets the 6 instead of the 5. If this had a spruce top or a cedar top, then this would be a K58.
K58.
And it wouldn't look as cool on the front.
5 is to 1, is 6 is to 2.
There you go.
There we go. And I feel like, they do make a K14 spruce top on a koa back and sides, beautiful combination. But if you're getting into the K series, it's like, why not just go all koa?
Yeah, everyone loves the looks of koa.
So yeah, this is all solid Hawaiian koa. Really subtle, not really subtle, I don't know. It's just nice flame with the straight grain. It's a good example of, it's just beautiful.
This has a really nice figured top, and really just the back and sides and top are very nicely figured.
Yeah.
Particularly, so I've said this before, usually with koa, you see it with maple, like really highly figured woods, you tend to find, this is a tip for you, you tend to find nicer woods on smaller bodied guitars, because if you think about it, turn like the front or the back, this is a 2-piece or a 3-piece back?
2-piece.
So a 2-piece, that's even more surprising. This is a big guitar.
Yeah.
And so finding a piece that has that much, figuring on a piece of wood that is that wide is more difficult. And so you typically see nicer stuff on smaller bodies just as a consequence of that. So kind of surprising to see a guitar that's this big with wood that nice. And the sides are something to consider. Usually that's not something I would go, oh, it'd be nicer, but this is a really wide side.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
Yeah.
So beautiful koa, just like that one. Ebony fingerboard, ebony bridge. The name of the K series inlay is that the Island Vine.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's in maple. And then the purfling and the rosette, it's beautiful wood. So it's got rings of koa in there, rings of maple, pale maple binding, which is awesome. It's like if it can be wood on a guitar, why not? Just like the pickguard on there. Yeah, and then Goto 510. Those are the minis, right?
Yes.
Minis, because you got
It's a
12
small
of them. Yeah, it's just, I mean, looks great. I think like you said, the smoke nickel looked great on the 800 series. The antique gold looked perfect on the koa series.
Well, because it complements the orangey hues
Yeah.
that koa already has. It goes really, really well with it. And the other thing as you're talking that I'm reminded of is one of the things I really like about the koa series on the appointments is how kind of naturalistic it is, where it is looking at, wood for the ornamentation, for the binding, everything is wood. And I really like that because it's an elegant guitar. It's not in your face, and it's understated because it's wood.
Yeah.
Had it all been abalone, it would also be nice, but it'd come across completely different.
When are they going to do a K68E Builder's Edition? I'd take that.
Yeah. So very cool. So great guitars, and let's talk a little bit about what you're going to hear, and then you're going to do the demo on these. But I love this is kind of a classic guitar. It's a big jumbo body guitar with spruce and rosewood and 12 strings. That's a winning formula. It has been for a long time. So what you're going to get is you're going to get a lot of dynamic range out of it. You're going to get a lot of brilliance, not just because it has those octave strings, but because it has rosewood, which has that like bell-like chime. The dynamic range is great because you can play it softly, you can play it loud, and it's going to get very loud. This is a louder guitar than that. We were talking about that earlier. Like you can strum this guitar and it just rings out like a cannon. And you have all of those nice silver tones so that you can play a big chord and hear just kind of a lusciousness that comes out of it. And the bigger body on these compared to like a smaller 12 fret grand concert style 12 string guitar means that you get the volume, but you also get kind of that body bass, which is not from the tone woods, but just the size of the guitar that helps offset the jangliness of the 12 strings, which is really, really nice. That's why jumbo 12 strings are so great. That guitar, vastly different to your point about tone woods.
Yeah.
You've got koa on the back and sides, which is going to be different, but you're using a hardwood for the top. So on that guitar, you've got that mid-range that koa likes to give you with some of the sparkle in the high end, but with the top, it really is compressed, which is nice on a 12 string. These are kind of like polar opposites. This is going to give you all the dynamic range to let you do whatever you want, but that can kind of sometimes get away from you. And what this does is it takes all of that jangliness and it tamps it down. So you get the wonderful sound of a 12 string without it kind of getting a little bit too much.
Yeah. They're very different, but both really fun to play.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's take a listen.
Okay, so there you have it. Maybe you've drawn your own conclusions already at this point, but let's muddy the waters. You like this one.
I do like that one. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, since they're so different, they could be applied in different ways really successfully. If I was a front man and I was singing and I was strumming big chords, I would definitely take this one. There's not a ton of opportunities to be a lead guitar player doing jumbo 12-string stuff. It happens. I have seen plenty of awesome video. There's like this video of Jimi Hendrix playing a 12-string, and he's like bending on the second fret, and it's just like how strong his hands were. It's crazy.
Yeah, Stevie Ray Vaughan too.
Yeah, Stevie Ray with like Life by the Drop. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So if I were to be playing lead on a 12-string, I think I'd pick that one, and it's because all of the little things that I wanted to get picked up, like especially with the octave strings, sometimes it's tough when you're picking. You kind of get what you get. You know, you're not attempting to hit one of the pairs, you know, one out of the pair.
You just have to get better, Cooper.
Yeah, that's true. But I feel like, you know, I wasn't doing a ton of lead in there, but some of the little licks in between chords, I feel like really shone through with that guitar. But both really cool. There's just a sweetness about that one that really drew me to it. But again, if I was playing Tom Petty, you know, I want to be up at the front with the spruce rosewood.
Well, what you're talking about articulates kind of my point with the compression.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people will think of the compression as just bringing things down, but it also brings things up and it evens everything out. And so sometimes when you're struggling to get some of that nuance out, because you got twice as many strings and they're all in this area, a compressing factor can help with that.
Yeah.
You know, because now you're hearing stuff that was otherwise overcrowded or overplayed, you know, because like on this guitar, you might hit a bass note and it'll completely cover something on an octave string.
Yeah.
You know, whereas on this one, it's going to tamp that down so you're going to hear everything. And you get that wonderful warmth. And it looks, I mean, come on. If you're going to walk out on stage, come on.
Yeah.
That looks killer.
At the rodeo, dude. Yeah, for me, it's like with the Grand Concert 12 strings that they've done, what do they have? They have the 362.
Well, there's the 362, 352.
Yeah.
You've got the Builder's Edition.
Or 652. You know, all of those grand concerts, it's like you kind of make the statement, Taylor makes the most comfortable 12-string. With these, I feel like they're still so comfortable to play. The neck, especially the radius on this one. So you don't need to get the grand concert to have a comfortable 12-string. I mean, these are as comfortable as a massive body 12-string could be.
Yeah, Taylor's, you know, kind of claim to fame with the playability that they have on their guitars really comes out when you're playing something that has twice as much tension and twice as much strings.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, it is easy to play. It's a 12-string that's easier to play than some 6-strings are, which is surprising.
Not to mention, we've played several 12-strings on this channel. Stuff from Gibson, stuff from Martin. This is always a huge problem, you know, the headstock being so heavy.
Yeah.
These, I didn't even notice it until I thought about it right now. And I know it's because this is a big old body, but J45 12-string, that's a dreadnought. The Grand J16, that's a jumbo.
It's weird that you bring that up because the reason I misspoke and called that an 818 is because it just felt like an 818 in my lap.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like it was doing that.
No, it's very, very comfortable and balanced well too. Like, you know, sitting down, standing up, it's not like this is gonna neck dive on you. Which is nice. It's the little things.
I'm realizing the difference on this versus an 818 though, is it doesn't have those appointments. It really is like an 800 series. But they got what made me think of it is these come with the really nice case. If you don't know that, like an 818 and a 618 come with the Western tooled case that Grand Pacifics also come with. Really beautiful case.
Yeah.
These come with that case.
Yeah.
But that doesn't have the same kind of appointments of the burst and whatnot.
Stuff. Yeah.
It's a classic 858E. Yeah.
A return to the classic with V-class.
Very nice. So you said you like this one. Truth is, I like both of them. But I had to leave the studio with that one and just show it to people because it's a jumbo Taylor Rosewood spruce 12-string, and it's a classic, you know, and yeah.
I do feel like a lot of people that are collectors and people that are recording all that, everybody eventually comes back to us and says, all right, I'm looking for the 12-string.
Yeah.
And there's just not a ton of options out there for those big brands. Like they have one that they, you know, put everything into with Martin and Gibson. There's a few out there, but I feel like this it would make sense to not keep it limited, because a lot of people, I guarantee, probably have an 814.
Yeah.
They'd love to add an 858 into the collection, or they got a K24. They need to match it with a 12er. You know.
Well, the truth is, it probably depends upon them. So it depends upon the response to these guitars. I'd like to see them honestly added into the lineup, but at this point we have no guarantee that's going to happen. It could happen very, very easily, but for the time being, like I said at the beginning, they're limited edition guitars, and we're only getting 3 of each one of these. So if you're wanting one, you need to go to our website, which is
alamomusic.com.
And you can check them out there. You can message us online and chat with one of our sales associates to get photos of the various ones we have in stock. We do sound samples for people. We do whatever it takes in order to find you the right guitar. Once we're sold out, other Taylor dealers will have these in stock until they are gone. And then at that point, maybe Taylor decides at some point next year to put them into inventory or part of the lineup. Maybe they go, that was a great run, and that's it. And they're gone. And then you watch this video and you go, I want to order that. And we go, sorry, which stinks, but it happens.
You go, what kind of wood do you want? Because we're going to build a custom
for you. Yeah, there you go. So at the end of the day, I think these are fantastic guitars. I would love to own either of them. I have a 12-string right now that I featured on this. It's a very special Taylor 12-string to me. But it's tuned down. I have room for a standard pitch 12-string. So I really like these guitars. I hope they find their way into some hands that really appreciate them and take advantage of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So go to our website if you want more information. If you're new to our channel, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up. You can give us a thumbs down. YouTube doesn't track it anyway, so we don't care. And you can also let us know in the comments below what you think about these guitars. At the end of the day, the best guitar in the world is the one you're playing. These will keep you playing for hours without sore fingers. So anyways, keep coming back for more. We'll see you next time.